Hey yo everyone, my name is Darren Hng. Me and my partner Choon Yang will be talking about the personality theories that are associated with the Joker. Yes, that's right, we chose the movie Joker. So you might be wondering, who is the Joker? Let's get started right away, guys. Have you ever thought about who the best supervillain is? Among that very list, you might see names like Ultron or Thanos. Come on guys, don't miss out on the infamous Joker. Everyone knows about Joker. He was an arch enemy of Batman. He has killed countless people that Batman really cared about, including his parents, though that was indirectly because it was actually a random person who murdered his parents due to a revolution that Joker had started in the Joker 2019 movie. And Jason Todd, who is also known as the second Robin, was killed off as well. He was first introduced in 1940s as a trickster in the comic book series. Since then, he has transformed into a vicious psychopath that murders innocent people for his own amusement. Here's a basic rundown of the movie. Joker is a 2019 American psychological thriller film directed by Todd Phillips. The film follows Arthur Fleck, who was portrayed by Joaquin Phoenix, a failed stand-up comedian in the failing Gotham City. He has a disorder that makes him laugh uncontrollably when he's nervous, also known as PBA, though the disorder was never mentioned in the movie, so we can't confirm that it is the right disorder. He attempts to belong in the society, but instead he was bullied and thrashed aside. He slowly lost his mind and started a violent revolution against the rich and wealthy, becoming the supervillain known as the Joker.
And yup, in this video we're gonna talk about theory of personality of Joker. There is ABCD type of personality theory, Alfred error theory, aggression theory, Erik Erikson theory, and some of the Sigmund Freud theory.
We are now done with the overview. Let's get into some theories that would best describe his personality. First off, we're going to be talking about the personality types A, B, C, and D. We will be looking into all four of these for a couple of minutes. Let's jump straight into personality type A. A person who has type A personality is always looking to lead and control a situation. They will always use a straight-to-point method or an approach to solve daily life problems. They're also pretty good at multitasking and are really independent in life. However, they might be a little bit stubborn and are easily tempered when you don't follow orders. People with type A normally become world leaders, or maybe if you're looking smaller, CEO of a specific company like Intel. Diving into personality type B, ladies and gentlemen, people with type B personality are the outgoing type. They are really adventurous and the presence of people makes them happy. These type of people normally make good friends as they tend to leave good and lasting impressions. Unlike their type A counterparts, they don't do well multitasking. They also have a tendency to be impatient and would easily get bored. The good thing is, normally people with this type of personality can become professors or businesswomen or men due to their sociability. Next up, we have people under type C. They are emotionally stable and always process things logically. They have a strong mindset of blocking out emotions that might affect them. That is not in Joker's case though. People with type C can also be the ones that repress memories. However, this kind of people normally won't care about other people's feelings, though they are really creative, which makes them a perfect candidate to be the next greatest game designer. Think about it. Last but not least, we do have type D. Normally people with type D personality would rather take things slowly and enjoy doing repetitive work. They are the type of people who are friendly and caring, even though they tend to be shy and dislike change compared to type A. Due to their friendly and sociable personality, they are the kind of people you will find in soup kitchens. They often like voluntary work and community services, so they might become social workers or a counselor in the future. The Joker in the comic books and other movies display the type B personality, as he is extremely intelligent. He also has a sadistic sense of humor and has a way of attracting others into his madness with his personality. However, in Joker 2019, me and Choon Yang have agreed that his personality type seemed to have changed to type C instead of type B. He seems like a nice guy, but he always represses his feelings, hiding his feelings from the world. He also has trouble expressing emotions, and his emotions will burst into rage. He also tends to hold back anger, as nearing the end of the movie, he killed Randall, a former co-worker, because he did not treat him nicely. He also suffocated his mother for lying about him being the son of Thomas Wayne. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's talk about Alfred Elder's theory. But first, let me do a short introduction of Alfred Elder. Alfred Elder was a successful physician and psychiatrist known for his concepts of inferiority. He believes that it played a vital role in the formation of individual personality. He once worked with Sigmund Freud, but eventually left him and continued to have a huge impact on the development of psychotherapy. So, you might be wondering, what was his theory about? So basically, his theory suggested that everyone had some form of inferiority, one way or another. He strongly believed that everyone will try to overcome that inferiority during childhood. He also believed that there is always some form of motivation behind the emotion we present. He also said that some individuals may focus on collaboration, while others try to assert dominance over others and control people. After watching Joker, Arthur Fleck was striving for superiority by wearing clown makeup or clown mask. After killing 3 Wayne Enterprise employees on the train, his clown makeup was so unique that it became a symbol for the failing city of Gotham. He inspired and rallied people. This started a riot in the city. During the final minutes of the movie, Arthur was seen dancing and was surrounded by rioters with a clown mask. He never felt this kind of superiority in his life before. This led him to become the biggest criminal of Gotham City, transforming him into the Joker we know. Now let's move on to the next theory, which is the aggression theory. First and foremost, we have a psychoanalytic approach. In our unconscious mind, we all have self-destruct impulses that might cause a certain burst of rage within us due to frustration. This normally occurs when we are unable to achieve something in life, like a dream or a goal. Next, we have the trait approach, which talks about how we were born with certain traits. For example, if you were born a shy baby in the past, you might grow up as a shy adult unless there is a factor that altered it completely. Subsequently, the biological approach talks about how we used to have genes from our ancestors thousands and thousands of years ago. Humans needed aggression in order to survive in the wild. For example, it's needed for hunting and farming. Furthermore, the humanistic approach suggested that everyone is always good until something unfortunate happens in their childhood that may affect their personality later on in life. Moreover, the behavioral or social approach talks about how we can learn aggressive behavior from our surroundings. That behavior will continue unless it is punished or dealt with. Last but not least, the cognitive approach suggested that the environment can sometimes trigger aggressive behavior. For example, if you are harassed in a public toilet, the next time you see a public toilet, you might be scared or angry about it. After watching Joker 2019, here are some approaches that apply to him. The biological approach is in everyone's genes. We needed aggression to survive in the past, so we can safely assume that the Joker have it. The trait approach applies to Joker because he might have grown up in a rough patch. This might have an effect on his behavior. Things that might have altered his behavior is his stepfather abusing his mom and him. The humanistic approach might be true for him as well. He was happy at the start, but he was abused by his mom's boyfriend in the past, which might have triggered some aggressive behavior that he displayed in the film. The last one will be behavioral or social approach. The Joker can learn about aggression from young. In the movie, it wasn't really showcased, but if you think about it, when he killed 3 Wayne Enterprises employees, he was scared for his life. After that, killing was so much easier and he seemed to enjoy it. No one was there to punish him or stop him before it's too late. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now pass my presentation over to Choon Yang. He will be talking about 3 more theories and he will conclude the presentation.
Hello guys, my name is Choon Yang, and I'm here to represent to you other 3 theories of personality of Joker. The main part of the movie Joker is how Arthur represented his personality, characteristic, and the conflict in his mind to the audience. Along the movie, we can see how Arthur's unconscious mind in his most pleasurable feelings, thoughts, slowly emerge out from the various actions that he made. So, let's see how Sigmund Freud's unconscious mind theory explained about him. Of course, at first, we need to know what is Sigmund Freud's unconscious mind theory is. In his theory say that we all humans have 3 types of mind: conscious mind, preconscious mind, and unconscious mind. In his words, he called the conscious mind as ego. Ego is in charge of our reality decisions and it decides what we're gonna do in the moment and what personality traits we often show in front of others. Arthur's ego works by making him to be friendly to his surroundings, trying to make others smile. At that time, he believed that there is still hope in the Gotham City. There's once at a bus, he sat at a row behind a mother with a kid. He soon noticed that a kid looking at him and he started to make some funny face to the kid, even though that he was in bad mood at that time. The next is our preconscious mind. Of course, in Freud's words, it was the superego. Superego works as a set of our moral standard, giving our ego have a guideline to follow and adjust. Arthur's superego always think about how other people thought about him, and he was always changing his moral standard, trying to become a normal people, and hopefully can be accepted by others. And during the movie, Arthur's unconscious mind, aka it, not this it, but this it. His it was trying to surpass superego and ego, to outburst the insanity inside him. And our it is the holder of our deepest and darkest emotions, feelings, and instinct. Even though his ego and superego are trying to suppress his it, eventually his it become out of control, release all his negative personality and become the infamous Joker. At the first time that Arthur released his it is when he killed 3 Wayne Enterprises employees who teased a girl and bullied him on the train.
Stay down, freak! お前はもう死んでいる。何?
At first, he was terrified by what he had done. He kept running and running and running away. At last, he stopped by a public toilet, leaning on the door and calmed down. At the time being, he started to realize that killing is the most pleasurable feelings inside him. The pleasurable feeling making him to have an urge to do it again, and this urge causing him to do all crazy things in the movie. including suffocating his mom to death, shooting Murray Franklin in a live TV show, etc. and etc. Talking about ego, there is sometimes that our feelings and emotions cannot be suppressed by ego himself. And this is when defense mechanisms comes up and save the world. Defense mechanism is a strategy used by our ego to defend ourselves from high level of stress from the environment. And of course, Joker is the one who was feeling distress from all the time. In the movie, he often used many kind of defense mechanisms to cope with his stress. The first defense mechanisms that Arthur used is reaction formation. In the movie, we can see whenever Arthur gets stressed out, he can't control him to laugh, even when he was really upset. This is because his ego couldn't cope with the stress and decided to use the laugh as the defense mechanisms. Although this is the explanation for his reaction formation, but there's one more indirect factor causing this, and that is his mother's word. His mother always told him that he was happy and can bring joy to the world, but that is not true. In reality, Arthur is very sad, suffering pain from both physically and mentally. And because of the contrast of the reality and his image of himself is too extreme, causing him to be confused. And maybe because of this, Arthur chose a job that he seems to be happy and try to make people laugh, but in the end, he was still suffering from the inside. Arthur also often used denial in the movie. The most obvious time he used denial is after he killed 3 Wayne Enterprises businessmen. Just like what I said just now. At that time, he felt very terrified. He unconsciously denied what he had done and ran away as far as he could. Moreover, Arthur also used denial in his miserable childhood. In his childhood, he was adopted and abused by one of his mother's boyfriends. When all of this happened, his mind unconsciously denied all of the bad feelings, leading him for having repression. Another defense mechanism. In the movie, we can see how Arthur doesn't remember the tragedy that happened to him when he was young. His mind unconsciously repressed the memories of being abused by his mother's boyfriend. By that time, this may avoid him to become insane. Yet, it caused more problems for him and his surroundings in the future. The movie shows us that Arthur was an insecure, inferior, and a confusing person. This all can be explained by Erik Erikson's theory. According to Erik Erikson's development theory, the environment that a child lives in is very important for not only his physical growth, but his psychological and mental growth as well. Because this could sculpt a person's personality at the future. We all know that Arthur's childhood was a mess. At the first stage of Erik Erikson's theory, aka trust versus mistrust stage, it says that when a child in this stage doesn't get reliable care from his parent, he can develop a feelings of insecure and mistrust to his environment. So, the reason of Arthur showing up insecure personality is because he doesn't get enough care from his biological parents when he was young. And according to Erik Erikson's industry versus inferiority theory, when a child is between 5 to 12 years old, they should be trying new things and performing tasks to develop self-confidence. But at that time, Arthur was violently abused, so it resulted him for develop a sense of inferiority. Moreover, Arthur failed to recognize who he was in the 5th stage of Erik Erikson's theories, and that is known as identity versus role confusion. So, it made him to have a sense of confusion in himself. All of this made up as a base of what Arthur's personality represents to us in the movie. So, here we are in the conclusion. Joker has a very complicated and interesting personality. Along the movie, he slowly uncovered his true personality to the audience. Based on what we saw, we found that his truly desire in his unconscious mind is killing people and create chaos. We also found that his ego was using some of the defense mechanism to cope with this stress. Reaction formation, denial, repression is what he usually uses. And of course, just like a normal person, Joker is also striving for superiority, loving the feeling of reveling in other cheers. Erik Erikson's theory of development is also important to interpret Joker's life, since his childhood was a disaster, foreshadow of what personality traits he carry on. Joker's personality also seems to have a linger between Type B and Type C personality, time by time. He also shows up an aggressive personality when it comes closer to the end of the movie. In the end, we are having fun time watching Joker and catching those personalities from him. If you haven't watched the movie yet, it was an interesting movie to watch. We act as an audience, watching him open up all his personality and slowly becoming the one and only Joker.